Hi Aries, welcome to October 2017. Your ruling planet Mars is in harmonious energy flow with Pluto as you move into October. Mars and Venus are coupled together in Virgo, and it's exact on the 5th, which is your full moon. And this is your harvest moon. So whatever you've been planting since your new moon last spring, now is the time that you'll be harvesting here in October, November, and so on, this fall in the Northern Hemisphere, of what seeds you were planting at the new moon back in spring. And it's good news that Mars and Venus are both trining positive energy flow with powerful Pluto. So you may find that here in October, you're really focused on projects, or you're really focused on a particular project, completing your projects. And with your ruler Mars in Virgo, you don't mind the details. You are lasering in on what needs completion down to the finite details, and you feel really good about this. So it's a wonderful area for you to be focusing here in October is on your work, any project you want to complete, and that includes health too. So if you've been focusing on improving your health and you want to, really take it to the next level, you'll have the energy to do that. So you're really turned on by your projects this month, and you have a great love for this at this time. And of course, hard work always pays off, and you could find that this brings some sort of promotion for you, or career advancement, recognition by those in power or authority, because you are so focused on what you're doing and where you're going with this energy. Now, this is going to be an intense month because both moons are being activated by Pluto at the Aries full moon, and then Uranus at the Libra new moon on the 19th. The new moon's on the 19th, the full moon's on the 5th. So with the harvest, hunter's moon, actually, I'm calling it the harvest moon because it's your time of harvest this time of year. But for all of us, we are harvesting what we planted in the spring, and now things are being brought to fruition here in October and November and December. This is a very powerful full moon because it is being T-squared by Pluto. Pluto represents the underworld. It represents our shadow side. We all have a shadow. And this is, a moon that's going to be highly triggered by Pluto. And Pluto is not a gentle energy. He likes to shake us out of illusions or fantasies or patterns of behavior that are not authentic or real or true to who we are. And so there could be some power struggles going on in this area of relationship for you. It could be with colleagues, it can be with business partners, it can be with your partner. And so it is, intense. And, Pluto likes to bring out what's taboo, what is secrets too. Pluto rules secrets. That's information we didn't know about that could be brought to your attention at the time of this full moon on the 5th. Now, your ruling planet Mars is in positive energy flow with Pluto at the time of the full moon. So if you're focused on your work and you're focused on what you're doing, then you don't have to get caught up in any power plays, jealousy, manipulation, game playing. and then avoid needless suffering. That's my motto. How can I avoid needless suffering? Yay! And, you know, so this is an opportunity for you to really, you know, focus your attention on your vision, what you're doing, stay on purpose, keep the faith, and you will have the success that you're seeking. Now, for some of you, you know, you are dealing with Pluto and Uranus in your birth charts. If you're going through big shakeups and you're having to make massive changes in your life, I guarantee you Pluto and Uranus are activating your personal natal chart. And you can find that out on the web. This is a general forecast for Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant Rising, and Aries Moon, or anyone with a heavy Aries energy in their chart. And so, you know, but getting down to the details of what Pluto and Uranus are doing in your charts, if you are going through a breakdown and you are experiencing a lot of massive change thrown at you, Uranus and Pluto represent forces beyond our control that put change into our lives whether we want it or not. That goes for all of us. But because Pluto is in Capricorn and Uranus is in Aries, they are activating the cardinal signs at this time. The Aries, the Libra, the Capricorns, and the Cancers. And this is not a maybe energy. This is change or I will change you. Love Pluto. So, you know, this is an energy that is very intense and passionate, and it's asking all of us to make changes in our lives. And for you, this is your full moon, so it is about your path, your self-image, making new beginnings or completing something. Full moons bring things to completion. So you can find yourself completing things here in October, and it's totally appropriate. You could be completing a project. You could be completing a relationship. You could be completing a living location. You could be completing a job. And if you've become too big for the job, it's time for you to move into something else. But if you've been hanging on and you're not listening, then the universe will kick you out. You know, so if it's time to go, whether you initiate it or the universe initiates it, it's still your destiny to move on from something, to be completing things. And the sun will exactly square Pluto on the 9th. So this could be a time where you say goodbye in a relationship, or you're in some sort of power struggle with someone else. And, you know, it's important that we listen to what others are asking of us or want from us. However, you know, it's also about, you know, looking at, well, what do I need? What do I want? So it's the balance of the two, of, you know, the self-interest, but also cooperating with others. Aries is about the self. Libra is about others. And so we want to find that middle ground between what I need and what others need from me. How can I show up and be really present with my partner and others, at the same time making sure I'm not losing myself in the process? I'll talk more about that when I get to the Libra moon. There is a powerful Mars T-square Saturn going on October 11th through the 25th. And, you know, that can be some frustration because Mars is the gas pedal, Saturn is the brakes. And so you can be feeling like you want to, you know, keep going and move quickly, but Saturn is saying, wait a minute, there's something you're not seeing, or it's not the right time to launch something or start something. Full moons are completions, new moons are beginnings. So there's a big intensity as you go into October. It starts out with a lot of fire and passion, and it can also be a time of arguments and disagreements going on, but the energy does get better, much more harmonious towards the end of the month. Jupiter enters Scorpio on the 10th of October, and this will highlight other people's values, your partner's values, your partner's money. Banking, it's about inheritance, it's about tax payout, insurance payout, royalty payout, money that comes to you other than earned income. So this is money that can come to you through other people, through investments you've been making, and you know, it is an energy that requires for us to go deep. This is Scorpio. Scorpio is about going deep. It's ruled by Pluto. And Pluto, you know, likes to tear the lid off something and let all the gremlins come out, the demons come out. That's why Scorpio rules Halloween. It may feel like an early Halloween as you go into October. Now, there is good news in here too, because Venus enters Libra on the 14th, and that can help people to be more harmonious and cooperative rather than, you know, looking for the argument or looking for the fight or looking for the negative. You know, the challenge with this energy is it does stir up negativity, anxiety, and fear. If that comes up for you, rise above it. Don't focus your energy on things that are negative, because it only brings more negative. Focus on your fabulous projects you have going on. This is a wonderful time for you to just go after any project you want to complete and celebrate that success. Celebrate what you are completing, and, you know, enjoy your work this month, because you're loving your work, and you're even loving the details in your work that you're doing. The Sun will harmonize with Saturn on the 16th. This is good news. And now Mercury enters Scorpio on the 17th, bringing more energy and focus to the deeper mysteries, to the deeper aspects of self, to the shadow side of self. We all have a shadow side, and that will be brought to light at the Aries full moon. And the shadow is how you give your power away. You know, maybe you give it away by watching too much of the negative news. Maybe you've been giving it away by focusing on loss or what's not working, instead of focusing on what is working and understanding that this is a natural cycle of life. Next year, Uranus moves into Taurus, and it's an energy that will not be so focused on the cardinal signs. So things are changing, and this is part of moving you forward in a way that, you know, is, you know, resistance is futile with Pluto and even with Uranus. And so if you're resisting something, then you're going to struggle. If you're resisting what's happening, then you're going to not like what's going on. And really, you know, it's not even about liking it or not liking it. It is what it is. If something's changing, go with the flow. Don't resist what's happening, because when you resist, you're pushing away what you want. When you resist, you're pushing away opportunity. Whatever's leaving, let it leave. Whatever's not working, let it go. Focus on going with the flow. Focus on where you can be successful. And that's you focusing on your projects, your work, your details. And when you do that, then you're riding the wave, and you are beginning to see why these profound changes were needed for your soul evolution, for your ascension, for the remaking of you, giving birth to the new you. Now, the new moon in Libra is action-packed too, because the sun and the moon are coupled together in Libra at almost 26 degrees, almost 27 degrees, and they're being exactly opposed by Uranus. And Uranus is also another force for change that can come at us from external events. It can come from you. You could be deciding that you want a new start now. You could be deciding that you like what Pluto's doing. You like the growth that's going on, and you want a new start in relationship. You want a new start in your life, and that you're feeling really good about this. Both of them are about breaking you out of old patterns and perceptions that no longer serve you. And so it can feel weird and uncomfortable at times because they show us things that, you know, the shadow side of life. They show us the ugly in people. They show us the weird. Uranus can be very weird and therefore uncomfortable when it shows us something about what's been going on. And, you know, we don't, you know, we can step back and go, oh, this is really weird, and feel uncomfortable about it. But it is about your liberation. It is about living authentically. It is about empowering you, and that empowerment starts in the mind. When we liberate the mind, we can liberate our life. And you can rise above the negativity and the fear and the anxiety that's sweeping the planet at this time, and causing this great polarization that's been going on with this Jupiter-Uranus opposition all year. That is done now, but we might see some of it here at the Libra New Moon. But the message with the Libra New Moon, you know, is about looking at what other people want from you and being cooperative, but not losing the self in that cooperation, not losing your identity, not losing your authenticity, just to please others and to avoid conflict. And, you know, conflict will be ripe here in October at the Aries full moon on the 5th, and at the Libra new moon, it will be, you know, there as well on the 19th. Saturn is in harmony with this new moon, and that's good news, because with Saturn in harmony, that can show, okay, now we're going to start to cooperate, or we're going to have the skill to deal with difficult people and difficult situations. So you could find that you have the skill, but it is for you going up into your higher self, your spiritual self, your soul self, going to a strong philosophy, and looking at your perceptions and how they shape your reality, and using them in a way that empowers you to deal with difficult people. It empowers you to deal with difficult situations that are here in October with all of us, with both of these moons being aspected by Pluto and Uranus, and this energy has been going on since 2008. So we're almost a decade into this change and transformation that's happening collectively and personally in your life. And so this change is ongoing. It's Pluto at the Aries full moon, and it's Uranus at the Libra new moon. Saturn is in harmony with the new moon, and that is the way out. And there still is a grand fire trine going on at both these moons, and that's another way out too, because Uranus in Aries is trining Saturn in Sagittarius, and they're both grand trining the North Node in Leo. So for you, if you're staying focused on your creativity and you're really going into your higher self, your spiritual self, then you're going to have the tools you need to navigate any rough waters that come up, because Pluto is exposing the shadow side in all of us, and Uranus is breaking up outdated patterns and perceptions and asking for emotional freedom and, you know, being true to yourself, which you are very good at, and that's absolutely what's being asked here. But, you know, it is about balancing relationships with the self, you know, cooperating with others, but also not losing that self-interest that's so important to everybody, because that's who you are and that's your authenticity. You don't want to lose yourself because you want to harmonize. We want both. We want to find that middle ground. And that will come as we get past this new moon, because Mars enters Libra on the 22nd, and that can help to soften things. That can help for us to all, you know, be diplomatic and negotiate more with others, and create that win-win with other people, as well as the Sun entering Scorpio on the 23rd, and coupled with Jupiter exact on the 26th, which is in the Libra New Moon. And so with Mars entering Libra, this is really good. And then the new moon having Jupiter and Mercury coupled together can be, you know, profoundly insightful. You know, so maybe Pluto does stir things up at the full moon, but then by the time we get into it, we realize I really needed to know that about this situation or about what's going on. Even if it's strange or, you know, taboo, you know, this information is valuable to me, and I'm glad I know it. And the energy becomes softer by Mars entering Libra and the Libra New Moon, and then the Sun enters Scorpio on the 23rd, and that's coupled with Jupiter on the 26th. That can be a very good time as well for you, because you've got the information, you know what's going on, and now you can navigate this terrain going into November feeling empowered because you have the truth, you know where you stand, and you can work with that. And so this is a very dynamic month. It's a powerful month, but the energies truly start to soften as Mars enters Libra, and then the Sun enters Scorpio, and we begin to work in a cooperative way with others that creates the win-win. And it's like in the beginning of the month, you know, especially with Saturn squaring Venus and Mars, you know, it could be like, okay, you know, I'm madly in love with someone, and then no, it's off. But then by the end of the month, it's back on again. So it could be like relationships are on and then they're off, but then they're back on again because you work through whatever weirdness came up or wildness or anything that's being revealed that may have made you step back. Now you're feeling like, okay, you know, now I know. Now all the cards are on the table. I know where I stand. You know where you stand. Let's still work together. Jupiter's going to trine Neptune starting in November, and that is a beautiful, loving, spiritual love kind of energy. And so that can really help to harmonize any challenges that come up. So, you know, the end of September and this first couple of weeks in October will be rocky, but by the end of October, things really start to harmonize and come together. So for those of you open for love, you know, it's there. You have the North Node in that area of true love and romance, as well as a strong energy in the area of relationships. And so if you're finding like you meet someone and you're really passionate about them and you're feeling like this twin flame love, or, you know, this amazing connection, soulmate love, and then weird stuff happen or conflict comes in, and then you're like, I don't know where it's going, or I don't know if we're together, you know, give it some time, because by the Libra New Moon, right after that, things start to come together. And you could find that agreements are back on, alliances are back on, relationships are back on, and we're all harmonizing together, moving into late October into November. And so love is going to be an area that you are focusing on this month, and it may be your partner is, you know, asking more of you, and you are like, no, I want my freedom, or I want to be doing my own thing, and oh, that's so needy and demanding. Really try to listen to what others are wanting from you, because that's the key this month with all of us, is to not take anything personal, even though Pluto can make it feel really personal, but to really listen to what others are saying. Emotional confrontations are going to be strong. Really listen to what others are asking of you and wanting from you, and try to hear their side of the argument or story, and then work to come to some sort of agreement, which will be easier to do as the month moves on, and by the time Mars moves into Libra and the Sun moves into Scorpio, these energies will be much more harmonious for all of us to work with, and especially you, because you're a major player here in this energy. Career looks excellent. You could see a promotion this month. You could see some sort of advancement. You absolutely love your work this month. In fact, you may be hiding in your work, trying to avoid people because things are so strange or challenging at times, and that's fine too. Spiritually, it's off the charts. The more you meditate and tap into your higher self and your spirituality, the answers will come for you. And they will empower you to be patient with others, even if you have that impulse of just wanting to, no, I'm not going to, or, whatever. Try to watch for that. Like, watch your impulses when your buttons get pushed at the full moon. And don't just react. Step back and then be proactive in what you're doing by seeing the other person's perspective or the other people in the group, seeing what they are asking of you. By doing that, you are empowering yourself to be an effective leader, communicator, negotiator, arbitrator. And this is what we need here in October, especially these first few weeks, is people that can be arbitrators and mediators in the conflicts that will arise at the full moon and the Libra New Moon. Because Pluto and Uranus are just shaking us out of whatever we think we know. It's like, guess what? You didn't know this. Now you do. Wow. And your health is improving. Your health is getting better too. And so it does look very good for you. Focus on your projects, and you will find that you are incredibly successful this month, and you're riding the wave to a very happy October and going into November. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, favoring, sharing, and Google Plus-ing my videos. Aries, you're rocking awesome. Thank you for subscribing. You totally rock. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really helps to support the channel and the work I'm doing here with you. So until next time, Aries. Oh, yes, and if you would like to work with me, that link is below in the Show More section. It's also up in the cards. You go to my astrology page, you purchase a consultation, upon checkout, you get the link to my schedule, and we're working together. Or if you're interested in coaching, you go to my coaching page, you purchase your session, upon checkout, you get the link to my schedule, and we're coaching you. So until next time, Aries, it's your full moon, it's your time to shine. And you are completing things. Celebrate your success.